Hope somebody in the county is going to have something down there to test the water, because I don't know how that land works. I'm not any kind of an engineer. You know, me talking a foreign language, I can do that, but I can't do any of this stuff. But I know that when you have 900 people someplace, something's got to go. And it'll be the same problem as the traffic problem, and that is everybody turns the water on for a faucet for a drink, wash their hands, flush the toilet. That pulls on the well. That means the well's going to have peak capacity to satisfy the population that's at the church. Likewise, the water has to go somewhere, same problem. Traffic in and out, we're talking apparently from what I heard here, up to an hour to 2 hours of traffic outflow. That's a huge drain on there. But the reason I say it, I don't think it's been thought out, or at least it's been sort of, magic hands waved over it, is the traffic data tells us that you measured it at an acceptable time, not at a peak time. I'd like you to go out there and do it sometime between, say, the 1st of September and the middle of October. Renaissance Fair is coming up, and anybody goes on 450. The other part that I don't think has been thought through has been, well, it'd take 900 people for 299 parking spaces. Seriously, just enough to get into the zoning permit. I see there's some future development points on one of the maps. I can't remember which one it is, but one of the posters up there said future development areas. On the property, they're now blank. So that means that's not going to be a drainage field for your septic system. But it could be something that will mean that your traffic problem won't be 900 people or 300 cars in and out only on one time on Sunday, or even 2 services. It'll be other activities coming along during the week, other times of the day and night, like every other church would want to do. And to be honest, Reverend, if I were you, I wouldn't be thinking, I'm only going to get 900 people in here maximum ever in my life, because you probably have close to that already in your church. Everybody wants their stuff to grow. They want their church to grow. They want their community activities to grow. This is like at the absolute limit of what could fit in there and what could be done. But it looks like you're already thinking there's going to be something more down the road. Now, not talking about it doesn't help anybody, because a lot of people in this room are a lot smarter than I am, are going, you're missing something here, guys. You're not talking to us about some of the stuff that's going on. Those 2 traffic cops out there are going to be like one-armed paper hangers. They're not going to have enough time to do everything they need to do. And avoid, getting run over. If the church expands, you don't have any more than 299 spots. Park on Cox Road. Have a fire down Cox Road. Where's the fire truck go? Where do they get the water from? The well's already drawing water out of that place, so they may be dropping the water table even more. Those are all the problems I see. And I see this kind of hand waving, sort of, yeah, well, we got this, that, and the numbers look good so far. No, they don't really. You heard the reaction a few people had here earlier when you said we sent out the minutes in the briefing. I got a copy of the briefings. I know my name was spelled clearly on the note at the last meeting. I couldn't get in the room, but I didn't get the notes. I didn't get the minutes from the meeting. In fact, I was told they weren't going to be coming out.
Sorry, to clarify. There were no minutes. The minutes are going to be combined, this meeting and the last meeting. The only thing that went out was a letter, which you received, I'm sure, to your community association, and also an email to people who did give us an email address indicating this meeting that was coming tonight.
Right. So that's why people doubt what's going on.
Excuse me, sir.
And suspect.
There's a lot of people here who want to say anything or something besides you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll be happy to give it up now. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. My concern. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did want everyone to know also tonight from the Anne Arundel County Chamber of Commerce, we have Mary Catherine Devine, who's here, the CEO. Crofton Chamber. Crofton Chamber of Commerce. And also on the board, Jonathan Bonavis, he's one of the board of directors for that chamber, is here also. Great. With that, I do have a list of folks that have signed up, and I think there's some more over there now. But let's start with Molly, looks like Hamilton. Great, right back here. And for the record, if you could just give us your name and then your city and just your city, that's good.
Hi, my name is Molly Hamilton and I live in Severn, Maryland. However, I am a part owner with my family of the property on Cox Road that's across from where you plan to build this church. You mentioned today, Mr. Parrott, that you were hoping to get the family on the other side to sell so that you could put the deceleration or acceleration line on the left-hand side. I want to ask you, please, and the church, please, stop contacting my family about wanting to buy it. My aunt is elderly. She's been contacted several times. Please stop.
Molly, what's the address so we make sure that we don't?
2112 Cox Road is the address of the property. My aunt's name is Mary Odell. Please do not contact her again about selling that property. Please keep her in the loop and keep us in the loop of the plans, but do not attempt to buy the property. In addition, I have a question. I was at the last meeting. You all got a lot of feedback. You've been clear that you say that you want our feedback and want to hear from us. I would like to know if you've made any changes to your plans based on the feedback that you got last time.
No. What we're
No
doing.
changes.
What we're doing.
Nothing we say is relevant.
Incorrect. Let me clarify. We're going to take the meeting minutes from last time and this time, put it together, and we're going to analyze what's been said, what some of the problem areas, and see how we can address those. So no, we haven't gone through engineering at this time, but we're going to look at what all those concerns are, compile them, and then try and address them as we move forward. So no, we haven't yet, but we will be addressing those. And that's why I'm not even sure, we have 60 days until we would have to have another public hearing. That's why I'm not sure we're going to have it done in 60 days. We were seriously analyzing what's come in today and at the last meeting, and it's going to take some time to address all those concerns. Thank you.
I just want to clarify, the family that was contacted about the property was only contacted once, and this was several weeks ago. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, well, you said up here that you were going to continue to try to buy it since he won't give me the microphone. And I'm saying, please stop that.
Thank you. Thank you. The next on the list is Lori Thorne. Okay.
Yes, take it.
I'm really curious because we're talking about. Sorry.
I need these papers.
Okay. So we're talking about one service, and I find it difficult to believe that we're building this beautiful church for one service a week. So I'd really love to hear the church talk about what are the activities that are going to go on in this church, how frequently, what days of the week. Are we truly talking one 9 o'clock service? Because I don't know a church in Crofton that only has one service. So we're really not talking about, so let's say 9 and 11. Now I've got 299 cars trying to leave and make, what did we say, 210? 210, Mike, making a left-hand turn, while I've got another 299 cars trying to come in for the next service. So I'd love to hear what, from the church, what is going to go on. I've got 900 seats in the sanctuary, but a 64,000 square foot building. What's going on?
I'll probably turn it over to the church to answer that in more detail. You're right, on Sunday mornings we want more than one service. And I do want to clarify, as the traffic engineer, we're not talking hours to clear it out. We're talking 299 vehicles, there's a police officer. It's going to be done like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, right. What happens to the local traffic?
And let me clarify.
Oh, crap.
When a police officer, excuse me,
Come on, man.
when a police officer controls traffic, it acts like a signal. So they can stop the traffic. It's not going to be a problem turning left.
When they're on one light, do they take that left out to the other light?
So, bottom line is, it's not going to be a problem coming in and out as long as it's controlled by a traffic officer, and that's what we're planning to do. But as far as
That's one car a second. If that's 5 minutes, that's one car a second.
299 cars don't exit at the same time. People talk, some leave early, some leave late. It's just the way it works in traffic world. But I would like to answer your question about other activities, and would someone like to address that?
Maybe they have a time machine.
Good evening to everyone. The question of what we're going to do in the church is very important. We can have multiple of services as it demands. As we grow, we are allowed to have multiple of services as we grow. This is a church, and the church of God must grow. And here's the point. Now, everything everybody is saying here points to the fact that you don't want us in the neighborhood. I understand.
No.
It's very clear. Please,
We don't want
please,
development
Can you
like
please
this.
let me speak?
Development.
With all respect, please let me speak. It's very clear from the last meeting, we had an issue of black and white.
One person.
Yes. Okay.
One person.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I please finish?
Stop using the race card.
It was in the meeting and it was recorded. Please, 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 please. Here is my
One
point.
person.
Can I finish? Yes, one person matters.
People here.
One person matters.
And one
person
got up at
matters.
the end of
Please.
that meeting and apologized.
Please, it's very important.
Because it
Now,
didn't represent
what
the
we are
community at large.
observing is that everything is not on the issues that are at hand. Let's discuss the traffic issues. Let's discuss how we can resolve them. And that's what we want to base on. Now, the issue of how many services we are going to have as a church, we need to grow. And if we are there and the number is more than what is required in the building, then we need to go to another service, which is allowed by county law. We bought this, we bought this land on the right note. We did not hide anywhere. We came out purposely and bought it paid for cash. Now, we have come to a point where we are seeing that the neighborhood is not being receptive. So, what we are saying is that if the neighborhood can come together, pay us outright, we are ready to give the land out. And we move on.
Deal.
Very good. That's one point I'm saying. But by law, please, can I finish? By law, we can do as the county permits us. As long as we stay in the perimeters, nobody here can threaten us out of the land. We have purchased the land. We feel threatened now. I'm telling you, very, very threatened. Because of questions and things that we have been hearing. So it's very important to us. We just don't want to disturb the neighborhood. As you were saying, we are ready to negotiate with you. Very important. That's why we are having this meeting. If not, we will not be here for this meeting. We are ready to work with you, but it looks like everything is not coming to make us come to a very close end.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Everything that you are saying, this cannot happen here, this cannot happen here, this cannot happen here. Then what else are you saying? I had the councilman saying.
Have you not heard our question?
Please, I'm on the floor. Please. I already told you. I said we can have multiple services.
Answer her question.
What are the plans today as opening? I find it difficult to believe that you have a single service plan. So could you please speak to what your plans are today pre-growth? Are you planning one service on Sunday?
No.
One Sunday evening?
3.
Well, but let's hear it from him. He has that right, and I would like to hear from the church what your plans are today. That I would think you could address for me.
From the start, when we start, we're going to have 1 or 2 services. I'm saying
Entire week?
on Sunday.
And what are the
And
plans
during
for
the
rest
week,
of
we have a Wednesday service in the evening, and that is in the evening. So that is our regular service times. Did I answer your question?
Master plan at this location to begin.
Yes. 7 p.m. That is it. That is it. That is the Bible study for Wednesday. Yes. So as I was saying, what we are trying to do, everything we are seeing is you are telling us we cannot have it there. Mike said something, he doesn't think we can have a church there. So exactly what I'm trying to say, we want to come halfway with you, but it's not working. Everything we are hearing from you is a pushback. Well, let's be honest with ourselves that what everybody is saying here is that we cannot have it there. And we have the right, please, don't forget, we have the right as you have to be there.
Exactly.
And therefore, if we have to meet the requirements of the county, then nobody should tell us we cannot have the church there. That should not be the point.
You don't live there.
That is what we've been hearing. Please. Please. Thank you.
You're making it a racial issue.
Thank you, Ms. Casey. I thought you had a really good question about some of the different services, and I think one thing to point out too is that the traffic study, it looks at not just Sunday mornings, but during the peak periods. It also accounts for different trips that we generated during peak periods. Now, the majority of these traffic, like even the Wednesday night service they mentioned, wouldn't happen during the peak periods, but there is traffic that will be generated throughout the week during the peak periods. So, good question. I'd like to move on to Marvin Lester. Okay.
I got it. First of all, before I get into what I was going to ask, I am totally surprised and disappointed that the black and white question came up. That's not the truth. Enough said of that. I've been a Crofton resident since 1969. We, Tarrytown Avenue, have been looking for a traffic light for about 12, 14 years. We're still waiting for SHA to comply. Do you think we have any confidence in them now, in this situation? Period.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, the next question is from Harry Keith. Right back here.
I live like 500 feet from the entrance of that church, right off of Tarrytown Avenue. And so if you could say I have a bit of an interest here. A couple of quick questions that I do have. The first is the count of seats and parking spaces and all that have been run right up to the very limit of the county code. That may be legal, and it may even work in some areas where there are walking parishioners. I think it's very humorous of you to say that that works out just about right with 3 people per car. I think you're off by a factor of about 2. There's going to be at least 100, maybe 200, could be 300 extra cars, and they are all going to park in my driveway. And it's great to say they're not going to let that happen. They will park in my driveway, and I really, really do not want to see that happen. I can't say that strongly enough. The second one, people have brought it up. It may meet the limits of the sight distances. I really do not want to be the family of the cop who's trying to work that intersection. I sit there and I can see the accidents occur. I can hear the brakes locking up day after day after day. Your numbers are wrong. They may be legally right, they are wrong. One of the things is while that's a 45-mile-an-hour road, people do, as they do everywhere, 50, 55. Yeah, there's also the guy doing 70. But 500 feet is not enough to stop at 50 miles an hour if you've got a moment's distraction. The next thing is, there's stoplights at both ends of 450. You ought to try coming in 450, heading towards Annapolis about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and see how bad that intersection at Davidsonville Road is. You are only addressing a small piece of it when you look at that intersection right there. The biggest thing is the parking. I almost wish you would put 600 spots in, because if you're going to bring in 600 cars, they need to park on the premises. They don't need to park in my driveway. And when you say 900 pews, there may be 900 pews or seats in the main hall, however you do it. I've been to many churches where the people line up around the walls, and you're not counting all the kids in nursery school while the parents are up in the main hall. There's going to be 1,000 to 1,200 people in that building on Sunday morning, and 300 cars is half what you're going to get. That's all I have.
And you're Harry, right? Yeah. Thank you very much. The next person is Kevin Danley.
My name is Kevin Danahy. I live on Cox Road. I attended the last meeting, provided my email, never got any notification or anything. I just found out Monday about this meeting because there was a sign on 450. The concerns that we have in our community down on Cox Road are probably even more significant than the rest of the people, because we have safety concerns. We'll be trapped back there. And there was a fire back there a couple of years ago, and if there's a mass coming out, you think that it's going to take 5 or 10 minutes for everybody to clear out, and that's ridiculous. Also, directly after the last meeting, Jamie Snyder runs ABC News and labels everybody in this whole community as a racist mob based on one person. I'd like an apology for that, as a matter of fact. I think he's a punk for saying it.
I'm more than happy to apologize. I was misquoted.
You weren't misquoted.
You were on video.
Let me be clear, please. There's no way on earth that I would say that the main thing that people were concerned about in the last meeting was race. You guys, every single one of you pretty much talked about traffic. Do you honestly believe that I went to the reporter and I said the only thing they were concerned about was race?
You said it. We saw the video.
No. She said twice. She said twice that the only thing I was concerned about, but she said those things.
You said there was a race problem.
I did. You're correct. I did say those things. Now, thank you. Please let me respond. Okay. He said that he feels threatened. There was one person in the meeting. There was also an encounter outside, and there have also been other threats made. You don't know all of those details. You know about one event.
Well, provide the details. We'd like to know.
I understand, so I'm not, and that's my point, is I didn't try to characterize. That part was a misquote. The part about it, I'm more than happy to, okay? Some of the people are here.
So?
Ask the police that separated them.
So basically, the question I have is, when they're coming out of mass and it takes an hour rather than 10 minutes, and there's an emergency down Cox Road, what are we going to do? Just take care of it ourselves.
Thank you, Kevin. The next question or comment is from Tiffany Gleason.
Hi, good evening. Pardon my ignorance, but I thought you introduced yourself as the traffic engineer, and apparently you're the delegate supporting this. Is that correct? No?
I own the company Traffic Solutions Incorporated, and we did the traffic analysis for this project. And as how I represent the client in this meeting is as the president of Traffic Solutions Incorporated.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that. I'd actually like to follow up on the past statement. I'm a physician who specializes in public health and safety for the military. And I'm very concerned. My children attend Crofton Children's Center, and just like the folks that would be trapped on Cox Road, you have about 150